Welcome back to our video. Today's video, I'm going to be playing City Skylines, and in today's video, we're going to be expanding our airport. So we're going to be adding a large plane area to our airport, which we're going to very quickly do that, and then we're going to be moving into the cargo space, and also building a luxury and a whole ton of budget motels or hotels for our airport, and then also adding a huge parking lot for it, which definitely will bump up the realism by quite a bit. But so, because I want to put for the main upper city, like, tall skyscrapers part of the city, bus hub at the airport, I am placing down their bus station. And so, I also placed down our metro station for, other metro lines that will join in here. So basically what I'm probably going to do is that I'm probably going to have one line that goes all the way around the city, and then Airport Express lines that go from main places in the city to the airport. And then I will also have just extra lines that just go around the city, and then for different areas. And then, well, they can all meet here at the airport, so this can be like their hub. Then for trains, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them, but for now, we'll just stick with the one train station. And so, I also will have, obviously, buses, but that is for a different thing. Or, well, that's just going to be for, well, just normal bus traffic. And then I just need to add in the large terminal for our large planes. So I spun around a bit just to be able to get the perfect metro stop area. And then I did notice that it was slightly slanted, so I did just move it back into place. And then we just had to move towards here, and then we just need to connect up the line, and then we just need to move the end line to there. And this line may never really get used by like anyone, because it's just a transfer around the different terminals. It's kind of nice just to have that, especially since it just kind of adds that extra bit of realism, because most airports have some sort of a train that goes around it. Normally it's like an airport express or just a train, but in this case we use a metro because that's what works, and it's just the best. I tried using the new high capacity metro stations, but it kind of was screwing up our, like, wall there, so, and I did not feel like doing that again. So I just decided to change it out for a normal metro station, especially since we were just going to be having one line, so it wasn't really going to be needed a whole ton of lines. I mean, we might have some lines in the city, but I don't want to try and keep the metro above ground for the city, and then we can just have our buses for going in deeper into the city. And then we just connected up the lines, got some nice curves on it, and then I had just finished it up. And so this line immediately started getting used a whole lot more, because before this, I believe the only way to get there was by bus or by private car from the city, or the main city. And so now people can more effectively get there, which is definitely a whole lot quicker, and it takes traffic off of the road. Or, well, the roads. So it definitely works a whole lot better. And then I did just do some touching up on this hill, because now I had the road in, it couldn't really get as balanced out, I would say. And then we just need to add in our large aircraft stands, which they worked perfectly in that we could get a nice amount of them. And then of course we do need I wanted a double runway, and so I then went to adding that in. If I was just trying to get as many as I physically could, I would have kept this in, but that doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. But so, I just added in all the taxiways for aircraft to get around, and then I also found out that you can actually curve these. So I did a whole lot of curves on them, because those kind of work better than just a 90-degree angle for planes. And well, there's that. And then I do want to create my own airline, obviously, because you can do that in game. But that it will be for another episode, because this episode kind of got a bit long. In that, I'll probably put it over where I have the parking lot and stuff, considering that I did just get rid of. I do get rid of that later in this episode. All the buildings that I had placed in there temporarily for our train station, or our main yard facility, because now we actually have expanded over to there, and the buildings aren't just standing alone. So there's that. And well, I mean, considering that we did put in that yard when there was absolutely nothing even near here, that's the reason why I kind of just have had them sitting there, because well, there was nothing near here at the time that we had placed that in. And then I just added another runway, connected up with everything, which for some reason that works, but the other way it doesn't work. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's fine. And then I just connect this up to our airstrips, and this way I connect up all of these taxiways, and this way it can actually work. And I realized that I did do it kind of wrong. And so then for the entry one to here, I just had to go across all of the exit ones, and then for the cargo airport, they're only going to be able to use this one unless there's a way to get around. I did just delete some of these flowers over here, because realistically this would probably just be a whole ton of concrete, but we can't exactly fill this up with concrete, sadly. Still waiting for them to add that into the game. I am waiting. But, it would definitely make airport builds a whole lot nicer than just builds in general for the vanilla game. And then, I do just add in airport zone, because this cargo area is going to be pretty big. And it definitely decreased the amount of train traffic that we had, so now it's just at the intersection where all the trains connect, where traffic tends to get a bit bad, but it isn't like that stuff is getting it isn't insane like it was before that. So that's definitely nice. And then one thing that I do want to know about is why all of my planes are going to the left side of here. So I put cargo stands on either side, but left side they're getting all of the planes, but the left side is getting absolutely none. And it's kind of weird. I think it's because convenience's sake for trucks. But that is not exactly ideal, considering that these are getting like 20 flights in, and they just are basically just going there, causing a whole ton of traffic, and then all being inside of each other, when there's perfectly open stands just over here that they can go to, that is, well, open and easily accessible. Just would need to go down the taxiway. But I think it's what's happening is that is quicker to go to, because I did test by getting rid of the access point to where you can skip over here, and flights did start to come here, but it was like one on one of the 3 stands, like every U. It was a very little amount of planes, considering that the other ones were still getting like 30 plus per week, just coming in and out. Then also, one thing that I do want to eventually do is change up how I did connect up this cargo airport station, because it's double laned, but I have them both coming out of a single rail. So basically all the trains are going to one side instead of going on either side, to where there's like a little bit of a line of like one train while another train is inside of there. And so, I mean, kind of does make it a bit annoying, but it's fine. I did just do some touching up around here. So definitely the sea level did rise probably quite a bit, because I did add quite a bit of terrain in here. Considering that this airport's started at a very high elevation and it just keeps flattening everything. And I definitely wasn't going to be accounting for any, like, hills. So I did poorly kind of put in this hill again right here. Just kept smoothing it out until it looked good enough, and then I went over to the lake and just fixed up the edge, which is why I never fixed up the lake here. It was because I wanted to expand the airport, and I knew that we were going to be doing that, so it would have just been easier just to wait until I did that. For that, I did touch up around here. And then I just need to add in the train lines and the road connecting into here. And so I did smooth up even more around it. And so that kind of, well, was finishing that off. And then I moved over to adding in the hotels. Which, I honestly, now that I'm thinking about this, why didn't I finish the cargo area first? But so, I changed this over to the small 4-lane road that was recently added. Because for the amount of traffic that was having it did not seem realistic to have a road of that big. And then also, people are always like just turning around in airports. So I mean, it would allow that because it doesn't have a median in between, and also it's just smaller and easier to, well, navigate around because of how small it is. And so then I just go in adding in one of the new roads, which is basically a wide sidewalk. See how wide it is, because I thought that it may have been a 1-unit road, which is basically a normal small road without like any sidewalks, allowing it to be 1 unit wide, or it would be called a 1U road, however you want to call it. But I did add in some fuel stations around, and then kind of just got distracted from the hotels while I was fixing up the land here. But I kind of don't like how that's just like a sheer cliff. But once we do put in airport fences around it, it should hopefully work out a bit better. Although, now that I think about it, I never put them in, which is kind of an annoyance. But that is always something that can be changed. But so, I do add in some parked planes around, so that's why we can indeed have, well, just it looking like an actual airport with just planes parked around on big old concrete slabs. Which, can we just get this concrete to just paint everywhere? It would just make everyone's lives easier. Like, you don't need to get a mod for that, and then console players have it. And then we finally put in our train lines, and then you'll see what I was talking about earlier. In that, the train lines, I have a merge, but they end up like just all going to the same track. And so basically they're all just turning off to the left, which is the right track if you're inside the industrial, or well, the cargo area. And then, well, that's kind of just causing lineups where they don't need to be lined up like that, but they just decide to do that. So then I just connect it into our main line, and then I add a place to get off over here. And then I basically just copy the curve that I did for that one, and then I just put that in, come all the way down to here, put in the curve, and then I just set it in there. And I didn't like how that one was because it was like putting a curve into it, so I just did that. and well, I eventually got the perfect one. And so then we had it like that, and then I just needed to smooth this out around the edges, and then well, we were all good. And then well, there's definitely the road access that's needed for trucks. So basically, I just bring down our main road, which did cause a bit of problems because I didn't want it to curve like that. But also, I wanted the tracks in there. Couldn't build a bridge because it was just barely long enough to where it would require another support. So I'd eventually do a very wavy track, just so I can fit into this intersection. Which I don't get why it doesn't just go straight in. That could be a bug or just a weird, annoying feature. But so, this is my problem here. Is that it's just barely over the length of getting the second support, which in real life you could probably just have one support there, or two supports there on either side, and not need a mid support. But, stuff happens, and this game is definitely not realistic. It's just trying to have, to work and have, well, just give its players a time to have fun, and well, it does do that, but it has some annoying stuff like that, which, as you can tell, I'm quite annoyed by it, but you gotta do what you gotta do to put in your train lines. And so then I do indeed just do this very wavy track, and then well, I just need to patch it up, and then well, I get it to work perfectly fine once I got those two segments in there, and then they all got connected in, and then I had a very wavy track going back and forth and all around with a road crossing right in it, which that would be probably realistically what would be there. It would have probably put in a railroad crossing. Then I did connect this up to it, but because we have a rail connection, most cargo is coming out by rail, or even coming in from the airport, and so that definitely basically got rid of all of our cargo rail traffic over there, but still gets backed up because that intersection I made very poorly, and so I now realize that, which I do probably want to rework that. Then I'm just connecting it with the power by using the old earthquake dispenser trick. And then I do put it along the nitro track because that would be probably realistic, I would say. And then we just add in our hotels over here. And so I am adding in 4 budget hotels in total. One for each. One for well, not one for each, but just 4 hotels because that would make sense, even though like 5 people maybe use these, which they definitely are a whole lot bigger than they should be for 5 people using these per week. But I mean, definitely is realistic, especially once we get rid of all these buildings here and then just add in stuff into it. And then I just do add in a path right in between here, and then I do decide later that I want, what I mean later, right now, I want a path going both ways, and so I just simply just delete the roads and then connect them back up, and then I just gotta move our hotels over, which that's just barely out of the airport zone, so then I just add it in. And then there we go, and then just gotta add that, and then well, now it's all done, which I should have probably expanded the other path, because the concrete got act a bit weird with paths. That's fine, and now we are looking at, there's that, and now there's not that much traffic coming in for it, but we can still get stuff done with that. And then, I do go to add in our luxury airport hotel, which I think honestly it's 5 people per week, and the budget ones get about 14 combined between all of them. And then, so with that, it's kind of a bit awkward with having this huge luxury hotel and then these 4 tiny, budget hotels. The very look like budget hotels are just there to work and do stuff, which I don't get why there's pollution here, considering that nothing here should be polluting. But, because that, unless it's because there's all the garbage piled up. But so now we weren't connected to the power, so I made a little tiny, like, power station here. But at the time I did want to add in some more details to it, like adding in earthquake sensors as, like, power station, like, terminals. But for this episode at least, I just bring it all the way down to where it is required to get this in, and then it just brings over the highway, and then I just need to bring it all the way down to where the power is. And then we will probably change that once we do expand the city a bit more. But that's just going to be how it is for right now. And so, well, now we just need to put in our just fine details on this, and then we just have to kind of get it in. Which at first I do put this in for, well, some car parks, which I do put that in first, but then I don't like it there because I wanted right in front of the hotel. And then I just do a double parking lot, like, or carports like that. 2 of them on either side, because in real life this would have definitely a whole lot of, well, carports, and just a huge parking lot in general, because it is an airport. Normally it would be a, parking deck, but it kind of is, well, different with, just because we can't exactly get parking decks without using mods. And so you can immediately already see that a whole ton of people are coming, because now there's a whole ton of entertainment here. Now, because these are leisure buildings, which allows me to place them down like this. So it definitely just makes it feel a whole lot more alive, the airport. Even though typically an airport in real life, it would have a whole ton of traffic for a long time. And so then I just flatten out the land even more. And then I go in on a carport spree. And so then we just expand this out. And then I just connect it into right there. And so then I just spam down even more carports with our thing. And so then I just work on expanding it even more by, well, just putting in this curved road, which I'm trying to get straight, but the end ends up getting curved, but that's fine. And then I just need to move it 1 tile, or, well, 1 unit off there, and so then we can get this in. And then that curve does look a bit sharp, especially for left turns, but it definitely works just fine. And so then I just spam down a whole ton of carports, as many as I physically can fit in here, because you would figure the airport would have put in as many as physically possible in here, just in this way it can fit all of its people coming in. And so then I do add some carports over here for more so the hotels, but there's a huge parking lot for our airport. And then I do add in some even more just along here, just to make sure that it is all good. And then just got the carports over on this side, expand them out a bit, and then just add even more, and then we can just get it all done. I do make that road straight so this way I can fit in a perfect amount, but the huge parking lot would now finally be complete with that one being in there. And so I do want to put the aviation museum and our headquarters for our airline right in there, and then also the aviation club, but this episode was already starting to get long, so I just decided to add in the services for over here in our cargo airport, because I just remembered that the train station wasn't included inside of here with services and stuff, which I think that it should, considering that comes from it, but it's just my opinion. And well, I'm gonna just add in a police station over here. I made it a mini fire truck, and I made that just a normal police car, because really all this will be doing is decreasing the crime rate in there, so that buildings will stop complaining, which really I could just technically have them complain forever and ever, but that would just give me an annoying sign, which this is what I'm talking about, to where they all decide to go on that sign. So basically I just added a whole ton of stop signs to hopefully lose that one's priority, and then also at any merge points I add in stop signs, or well, just slow signs, whatever you want to call them. And then, well, this is the stop sign there, but as you can see, all of the airport cargo planes are heading there and not on the inner side. Go on the inner side, we had one flight, and then between all of these are like 45 to like 50. And so it was kind of not a problem. I do add a expressway to get over onto that side for passenger service, even though I don't think there was any passenger planes on there. But so then I do find out that we have a power problem. It's a matter that we can't get oil over there. It's not that we can't produce enough, it's that we can't get oil there. Which I think is that we don't have any base game oil industries yet, because none of them will place down. So I tried to place down a dam, wouldn't work. It's just not going to work for there. So then I just turned to our Green Cities DLC stuff, which produces a whole lot of electricity for very little. So it's definitely quite nice. And so, well, once we get some more industry, we can hopefully now get enough oil for them. But I think in the next episode we have to build our power plant. So I think in the next episode we will finish up this, and then we can build on our power plant. But so, I believe that'll be it for me. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!